Yo, K.Levy, we back at it. Mission Legendary. Hey man, I'm outside. It's raining today. But it's all good, man. It feels nice out here. And it's not going too crazy, but just a consistent rain. Nothing too crazy. Hey, I made a post on Instagram the other day. Uh and basically essentially what the post said is like the worst thing about excuses is the fact that a lot of times our excuses are valid. The problem is we lean too much into our excuses and we don't lean enough into our purpose. So, like a lot of times I feel like, in the space of visionaries and dreamers and so on and so forth, we like to say no excuses, no excuses, no excuses. But that's a little bit unrealistic, honestly. Like just being real about it, like it's pretty unrealistic to keep telling somebody no excuses, no excuses, no excuses. Like, fam, if my kid is sick, I'm not pulling up. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what it is or like how sick my kid is, you know. But if it's an emergency, I'm not coming, you know? Um, so the whole no excuses aspect of things, I think sometimes can be overplayed. It's like this over ambitious mentality that we try to sell. But the reality is, a lot of times excuses are valid. The problem is when you lean too much into these excuses, right? So, like one of the things I talked about in the post, I was like, yeah, of course, we may be running late for a specific reason, or we may not be able to make the event for a specific reason, or there may be some difficulties that are hindering us from building our business for whatever reason, right? I think it's really important to uh, understand the magnitude of the excuses because, like, again, a lot of times these are valid excuses, but your purpose is still waiting to be fulfilled. So, which one is more important, your excuses or your purpose? And to me, that's the question. Like, I made an excuse the other day, right? But that was an excuse that, again, was valid, but the thing that I was dealing with was very important to me, right? So, as it pertains to our purpose and the things that we're going after or the things that we say that we want, we can't let every little excuse hinder us. Some things we got to put on the back burner. And if you don't put that on the back burner, um, you're basically putting your dreams on the back burner. You're basically putting your purpose on the back burner. And then you're looking back 10, 15 years from now saying, man, I wish I would have, or I could have, or I should have. It's like, but you didn't, you know? Um, so I think that's an interesting dynamic, man. Some of the feedback that I got from the post was, agreeing with me. Some of it was like, nah, we think you tripping on this one. And that's cool. You know, I definitely respect whatever your opinion is on that. But, my thoughts on it is, look, things come up. You're not always, especially when you have kids. Like before I had kids, bro, I was all in 100% all the time, all nighters, you know, doing whatever I needed to do. And while I still do whatever I need to do, something go on with my kids, like that's priority. You know what I mean? My close family, that's priority, right? So yeah, there are aspects or are times where I may have an excuse that's valid, right? But I'm not but to overdo it with the excuses and just kind of lean into that, man. I think that is when it becomes excessive, and that's when you begin to endanger your purpose. You begin to endanger your dreams when you just like fall in love with the excuses. Because again, most of these excuses are valid, right? But how often are you going to let it deter you from where you need to be, right? I think that is a question worth asking, you know. And again, like I said, man, I think the whole no excuses um thing is overplayed. You know, I've seen some success, right? I've seen some success, and I definitely believe that, you know, with the life that I want, the no excuses aspect comes into play when it comes to raising my kids, being a good man, right? A good father, a good husband, a good son, a good friend. So if I'm playing the no excuses, if I'm overplaying the no excuses aspect in my professional life, well, then what does that mean to my personal life? So if it's no excuses in my professional life, just go hard all day, every day, all the time. Well, how much time am I spending with my kids? Because see, on that side of the spectrum is no excuses. But now I got to make an excuse to my kids on why daddy's not at the event. Why I didn't show up to donuts with dad, or I had a meeting. See what I mean? So it's just really important to just, I guess, weigh out what matters most to you, you know, and live with no regrets. So, you know, I'm blessed to feel as if I found some balance in that. You know, I work as hard as I possibly can in every way to be as consistent as I possibly can in my craft and my business and my professional life, but not at the cost of what I mean to my kids, my fiance, my mom, my siblings, my father, my nephew. Um, it's not worth that to me, you know? So, no excuses? Not sure about that. But what I do know is most of the excuses that you probably are making are valid, but don't lean too far into those excuses because they can be valid without being super, super important, right? So don't let the validity of your excuses stop you from going and being legendary. You know? That's all I got today, man. But just wanted to come through and say what's up. Uh, everything in the bio, in the description. Follow you, boy. Show some love. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Interested to hear some different perspectives. You know, I think that's a really cool aspect of platforms, being able to share perspective. You know, so just make sure we, you know, keeping it respectful, regardless of what a person's perspective is. But love and blessings, man. I'm out of here. Got to go watch some high school football. Kick it with my kids. That was up, man. Legendary forever. I holla.